for the first time since the college football playoff rankings were established in 2014, there was a real chance that Cincinnati would make history as the first Group of 5 team to make the top 4. Well, not much luck. They do find themselves higher than any Group of 5 team in history, though. Here's Gary Barta.
I would say the committee has great respect for Cincinnati. The win at Notre Dame clearly at Notre Dame is a really impressive win. When you look at their schedule after that, or who they played after that, who else did they beat?
Well, that was one perspective, and as always, there are several, as you might imagine, a different take from Cincinnati head coach Luke Fickell. Here's what he had to say.
Who was the chairman? I don't know. What's his name?
Gary Barta. It's Gary Barta from Iowa, I believe.
Barta. Did he play football? I don't know.
I don't know his background other than he's an athletic administrator.
I don't know who he is. I don't really care, but my guess was, have you played the game of football? Winning's not easy, and that's why they give him the microphone and let him talk and sit in a room and make decisions. It's an imperfect world, and everybody has their opinion. You know, the opinions really matter at the end of the year, and we'll figure out and find out what that is. But you know, those kinds of things, yeah. That would be something that bothers me more than where they have you ranked. Is, you know, when somebody goes on there and wants to make comments about who you are and what you should do. This is who we are. This is what we do. You know, and if that's not good enough, then that's not good enough.
Cincinnati's conference commissioner, Mike Aresco of the AAC, not a fan of the initial rankings. Here's what he said. These rankings, the more you look at them, they're indefensible. It's clearly a Power 5 invitational. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. Let's hope that something changes in the way this thing is being viewed. And Des, listen, if nothing does change, then I think you're right. What we're seeing here, unfortunately for Cincinnati, is likely the ceiling and not the floor.
Yeah, it really is. I think the committee to put Cincinnati at number 6, I mean, had they put them at number 5, I would say that there's some hope that they can slip into the top 4. But to put them at number 6, and then for Gary Barta to make the comment that he did yesterday as the spokesperson for the committee, you wouldn't think that he would anticipate a question about Cincinnati, and that he would actually provide everyone with a better answer. Don't forget, this is supposed to be some sort of transparent group that we have now with the selection committee, but the group can only be as transparent as the spokesperson who comes out every Tuesday and talks to Reese Davis and gives us answers about why they did certain things. I would have anticipated him having a much better response for the Cincinnati question than the one he provided last night, which actually lacked any substance. So that was very disappointing to see him try to defend Cincinnati at number 6 with such a weak comment, Lugs. And I think that Cincinnati deserves better. I understand Luke Fickell's point as far as, did this guy play football? Because it is hard to win games. I mean, you have teams losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to all the time, and they should be given credit for doing what they did, meaning the Bearcats. That's how I look at it, Lugs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Des, I'm not so sure that Cincinnati isn't looking at this through the wrong lens. And hear me out, and Mike Aresco as well, because I think Mike Aresco's statement is incorrect. Take a look at the teams that are ranked in front of them and look at them all. They play each other. They're going to knock each other out. I think they're counting on an Ohio State or a Michigan State, or potentially both, all right, because you still have Michigan in the mix right now. I think they're anticipating that thing crumbling and assuming that Cincinnati will play good enough football to win out, and then they will naturally be placed in the slot that they should ultimately belong if those things happen in front of Cincinnati. So I think they could look at it with more of a positive spin, knowing who's on the schedule on the back half, and that includes Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got Baylor, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, so they still got some tough games in front of them, and Cincinnati could use Michigan's help at the right time. So I don't know if the sky is falling yet for Cincinnati.
I love that glasses half full approach.
Right?
I love that. I love the optimism. The glass is half full. I love that. But, you have to have things happen in front of Cincinnati. Don't forget, but then, like you said, you have Michigan who's behind Cincinnati. You have Oklahoma who's behind Cincinnati. Like, these teams can also leapfrog Cincinnati because they have games on their schedule against ranked teams. And Cincinnati, they don't at this point. So it seems like Cincinnati is like literally stuck between a rock and a hard place when you look at the teams that's in front of them and you look at the teams that's behind them and you look at their strength of schedule. I just don't see much wiggle room right now for Cincinnati to slip into the top 4 unless something catastrophic happens in front of them and behind them.
And you know what, Luke? I think that's a fair point. That's a very positive assumption they might be making, but you're essentially taking it out of Cincinnati's hands, right? You're saying you can do whatever you do. You take care of everything you're supposed to do, and then we'll see. We're going to let other people decide. Now, I know there's a strength of schedule argument and all that, but I don't know. This one's a tough one for me at 6. I don't think anybody thought they'd land at 2. But 4, 5, I don't know. 6 seems a little harsh. But again, it's just the first week, and we'll see. But they'll have to have some help.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.